In this video, we're going to look at actually kicking up into a forearm balance. We have done another video together here where I went through some shoulder preparation, flexibility, strength work for forearm balance, for Pincha Mayurasana. So we ended that video with the forearm balance with the feet at the wall into an L shape. So we'll start from there, and then today we'll actually look at kicking up, taking just the first steps into a little bit of air time, and then maybe taking it up to the wall or working with a spotter if you have someone to help you. So let's get started. We left off at this point, forearm balance at the wall. So we have our forearms down on the ground. The forearms can be parallel one to the other, or you can start working here with the interlace of the fingers, which might give you a more solid base to begin with, but it's eventually not super useful when you start to work on your balance, on balancing in forearm balance. So if you are doing it at the wall, you can go interlace fingers or forearms parallel, whichever one you prefer. Let the head drop and then start to come up with your feet just as high as your hips, so you're into kind of like an L shape. You're pushing the floor away with the forearms. You're allowing your neck to relax, maybe looking back at your big toes and really pushing the wall away with your feet. So with the forearms, you're pushing the floor, with the feet, you're pushing the wall. You're sucking in through the lower belly, being strong here and active through your shoulders. Your head is not on the ground, it's elevated. So see if you can stay here for another breath, and then we'll come down and take a moment. So we left off in the previous video saying that this is really good preparation work to build onto your strength around your shoulders to then eventually be ready for forearm balance. But if you feel that you've already got that and you are ready to start kicking up and catching some air time, then let's get going. So again, the setup will be forearms parallel one to the other and palms of the hands touching the ground. You're going to lift up into a dolphin position, let the head drop for now. And then from your dolphin pose, lift one leg up into the air. And if you feel that you can be here and push the ground away with the forearms, reach up through the big toe, and you can sustain a few breaths here. You might be ready to start kicking up. In that case, you look forwards between your hands. You bend your standing leg, and as you bend your standing leg, your top leg is going to stay straight. You're taking a few light hops. And practice landing lightly so that your foot, the one that's on the ground and coming back on the ground, doesn't crash on the floor, but it just lightly touches the floor. Once you've done it a few times on one side, we'll go over onto the other side, but just take your time, a few kicks with one leg. I always usually start with the right leg just so then I remember which leg I've already done. So let's go and work on the second side. You will probably have a dominant side, one that you prefer kicking with, but let's work on both. Dolphin pose is our starting point, and then we lift the second leg, look forwards between the hands, bend the standing leg, and as you bend, light hops. Practice landing lightly, practice keeping the top leg straight and active, and with that foot that comes down on the ground, kind of doing like a spring action. You're bending the leg and then hopping it up, bending the leg, hopping it up. If you feel that you are ready to take it a step further, I do recommend that you work either at the wall or with a spotter, so someone who can help you. If you do have someone who can help you, you can kick up. I unfortunately don't have anyone who can help me today, but you can kick up with one leg. They could be a barrier to you just by providing one arm in front of your leg so that you don't kick over and crash on the floor. So that might be a support. But if you are working like me on your own, then the wall is your friend for now. So let's move at the wall. And as we move at the wall, ideally you can take your mat to the wall as well. I can't today, but that's okay. And we'll have the forearms parallel again, setting up your strong foundation here. And as we kick up, we're going to again look between the hands. Remember, your bent leg is going to act like a spring. Your top leg is straight and it's going to stay straight. So as we hop now, we catch a little more air time. Maybe going into an L shape. Top leg up, bottom leg straight and parallel to the floor. Once you've done a few times on one side, you can repeat it on the second side. Just going to talk you through so that you can actually see me. So your forearms are parallel, you're strong through your shoulders, not collapsing into your shoulders. You're looking in between your hands. And one leg, so if you've done right side now, go ahead, do your left side, left leg up, and your right leg is the one that gives you that springy action to be able to kick up and land lightly. Top leg is active and straight. Bottom leg is bent as you hop, and then it straightens. And for now, we're working into having the two legs kind of making like an L shape. So one goes straight up, the other one is parallel to the ground. Do it a few times. And then our next step, if this goes well, would be to kick both legs up. Now, we don't want to crash into the wall, but kind of use the wall to know that we have a safety net. So we know that if we overkick, we're not going to crash and hurt ourselves, but actually we have that safety of the wall. But saying that, let's try not to actually go all the way into the wall if we can, so that we can work on starting to find our balance. So I'll go right leg up one more time. Left leg stays down, bend the knee, bend the left knee, right leg is right, nice and active. As I kick up, I go up, push, push, push with the forearms, and then this second leg can come up, and I know the wall is my friend. If I get here, I push into the floor with the forearms, I still look between my arms, maybe between my elbows or my thumbs, and reach up with the tips of the toes. And then when I'm ready, I come down, take a few moments to rest. So once you've done the first side, then we'll go ahead and start kicking up on our second side. And as I said earlier, there might be a dominant side that you always favor, but for today, let's try doing both legs. So for me, it's going to be my left leg up. I set up, I keep the right foot on the ground, right knee bends as I hop up. And eventually, once I find my balance, I'm going to be here. But it might well be that as you kick up, you actually go all the way into the wall. So if you do, what you can practice is just pushing the floor away, lifting one foot away from the ground, and then starting to slowly take the other foot away from the wall and squeeze your two legs together. Think of reaching up with the tips of the toes and then eventually down. Hey! So, yes, this is your forearm balance for you. I hope this video is useful, and so it starts to give you a little bit of foundations, and then if you do really want to work on forearm balance and improving your forearm balance, I do recommend you work with a teacher. So if you are in London, I'll be really happy to help you, but otherwise find a local teacher who can help you, and that way you can make sure that you are safe and you learn the best alignment possible. So thank you for watching. Leave me any comments or any requests for the future. Namaste.